breathe in, move, listen. Invite Jesus to your space.
Welcome to Christ-Centered Yoga. Let's start into our practice today with this intention, controlling the controllable. Sometimes when we can't control what's happening, we can challenge ourselves to control it the way that we respond. That's where our true power lies. Inviting Christ to our space, inviting His presence as if He's already here, allowing us to lead with love and light and to speak our truth in a loving and kind way. So sometimes the hardest practice looks like a basic and more simple practice, but it's really what our soul needs that day and what we'll learn the most lessons from. And that is what yoga is all about, taking what we learn on the mat, off the mat, to challenge us when to push, when to pull, when to soften, and to surrender. So we're going to come into more of a restorative yin practice today. I would have a block, a strap, as many props as you can, pillows, bolsters. Please invite all tools in today. Let's begin in a seated butterfly pose or bound angle. Soles of the feet to come together. The knees are going to come out to the sides of the body. Then use the hands to lift up through the heart space, lengthen through your spine. If this is comfortable for you, then choose to stay here. Maybe sometimes this might be a little bit hard to stay here in the hips. You could choose to keep your feet a little further away from you. Grab onto even the fleshy parts of our sitting bones to find those two push pins in the bottom of our mat. Lengthen through the spine. This might be where you're bowing forward here. You could even use a block. Bring it on the inside of the feet or the top to rest the chin or the forehead on. And then just start breathing into any areas of the body that hold tension. So start to send the breath to consciously slow down the heart, allowing us to connect to our heavenly home all the way on this earth. Softening and surrendering with every breath that you take. Notice the body as it starts to respond. Are we challenging ourselves in the way that we respond by staying connected with our breath, staying connected to love and light, giving yourself time to open, knowing that there's no rush here in this process. And then when the body starts to create the space to open, you can shift a little bit deeper, adjust, and let the body respond. And then take one final breath here. We'll start to walk the hands back up and straighten the legs out in front of you. We can take a little bit of distance between the feet if we'd like. We could even take a block in between the legs. Find the fleshy parts underneath, hands behind the hips or the sides to the hips. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears and lift through the spine. Dorsiflex the toes towards the heart. Option to hold gently onto the quadriceps, the shins, the calves, or the toes. You could use a strap here if you'd like to wrap around your feet. And then just start to draw the shoulder blades behind you. Allow yourself to walk the hands down the mat, pull the belly button into the spine. If you'd like the block option, let the forehead melt down towards the block. Just witnessing the breath as it moves in and out of the heart space. Allowing ourselves to stay present with this intention of challenging ourselves in how we respond. Maybe you start to feel the body respond and you want to inhale and lift the heart a little bit deeper and open, and then exhale, fall back into the space a little bit deeper, lengthening through the spine. Whether you have a strap or a block, let's begin to start to release those if we've used them. We'll start to bend the right knee in towards the chest and plant that sole on the ground. Left toes are going to dorsiflex towards the heart. We'll take the hand behind to open up through the heart space. This is your first option. Option 2, if you'd like, you can extend those right fingertips to the sky. We could take them towards the left toes and then wrap towards the outer right shoulder inside of the hand and use that arm to hug around yourself. Maybe you'll find a full bind here today, clasping the hands together. Maybe it might feel better to continue to open and hug the knee into the chest. Or we stay tall here and lift through the spine. Inhale and exhale. Breathe it in. Whichever variation that you've chose today is exactly where you need to be. Stay with your breath and feel the body start to respond. Release the bind if you've taken it. We'll grab onto the outer edge of the right foot now. So we'll take that left hand to support us behind and then bring the right knee into the underarm as a bow and arrow. We sit tall through the hips, shoulders draw down. We could start to extend this leg high to the sky. We could even lift up, straighten through that right leg, gently twist, left hand behind, look over the opposite shoulder. Or if it feels better to keep a micro bend or the bow and arrow here, listen to that body. Open up however your body needs to be met right here in this beautiful present moment. And when we feel like we can't control the way that the asana is in our bodies, can we challenge ourselves to control the way we respond? Good. Once we release, we'll swap sides. That left foot will come to the earth. Hand behind you and lift up. This is option 1. Dorsiflex the toes towards the heart. Or take that arm and reach up high to the sky. Reach for those toes. Wrap, maybe the right hand interlaces with the left. We plant that left foot into the earth, ground down. Open the heart and look over that opposite shoulder. Take a deep breath in wherever you've chosen to be. Know that there's no judgment, no expectation, no competition in yoga itself. It's all about the journey, the exploration of the awareness in your body. If you have the bind, we'll release it now. Go ahead and take the hand on the outside of the sole of the foot. We'll start to bring it to the front of the mat and draw the left knee into the underarm. Sit up on those sitting bones, open through the heart. Maybe we start to extend as we take the right hand behind us or extend the leg. You might even start to twist gently and open up towards the right side of the body. Draw that breath in, lengthen through crown, open through heart. And exhale gently, release back to your center. We'll start to roll down onto the back itself. Hug your knees into your chest. And gently roll side to side. Just give yourself a nice massage. So we'll start to lengthen up through the spine. Maybe it's a pencil stretch here. Maybe it's a plow pose. Maybe taking the knees to the top of the forehead in a supported posture. Possibly to straighten through the knees and take the legs to the top edge of the mat. You could keep safely behind the spine, Roll up onto the shoulders, lengthen through the spine, sit bones go toward the heaven above. Deep breath in. Maybe you even take a clasp, chest expansion here. A deaf man's pose is an option as you bend the knees around the ears. Remember to not move the head or neck at all in this posture. Keep the chin tucked. And wherever you are, start to roll down one vertebra at a time. Keep the feet down to the earth, and we'll take a knock-knee position, both feet out wide as our mat. Knees touch, one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Notice how your body is responding. Do you have the need or the desire to push into these asanas? Can you allow yourself to soften the ego enough to approach it and accept what is in a loving and kind way? Sometimes it's not about going 100% in these asanas, but just finding that sweet spot of presence. What is it that I need right here in this moment, and how can I respond to a challenging and difficult position or situation? Using my breath to find more space in every asana, using that connection to my loving heavenly home all the way on this earth. Noticing that it's not about what it looks like, but it's about what it feels like on and off the mat. How can we feel and bring more loving kindness into the world around us? How can we bring more peace? Even when we may not agree with all the opinions that float around us, can we honor other people's truths and speak our truth in a kind and loving way? Let's reach those hands up above our head. Good. We'll gently roll ourselves up into rolling like a ball. And then bring ourselves up into a cross-leg position. You may choose to sit up on a blanket here or a block so the hips are slightly higher and they shift forward. You could choose to use a block here to bend forward, reach through the hips, hands wide forward. Maybe you're coming down to the elbow or the forearms, whatever height feels good for your body. Maybe you're moving the block out completely and you're surrendering here. Those two push pins in the bottom of your bum are anchored towards the earth. And we're opening and expanding through our heart, through our breath. And then we'll start to walk the hands out into the left side of the body, hinge forward, whether we're using that block or the forehead coming to the top of the knee. We'll continue to ground down through the right hip to keep ourselves grounded here, really working on the expansiveness of our side waist, the ribs, the intercostals. And then allow ourselves to walk back to center. We've been here before, so can you find a new perspective? Walk the hands back forward, knowing that when we can't control what's happening, we can always challenge ourselves to control the way that we respond, because that's where our true power lies. Always in a kind and loving way. All the way over to the right side, follow your breath, come down to the top of the right knee or bring a block with you along the way. Use that space to soften with the breath, to help the body soften and surrender and allow yourself to respond in a peaceful, kind, and loving way. Start to walk the hands back up and bring those hands behind you so we swap the feet here. The other one's in front. We'll find whatever we did on the other side on the same as we flipped. So go ahead and walk the hands forward. Find a space that feels good for you. Sitting bones are grounded. Follow your breath. Allow yourself to find the tensious areas in our body that we're holding on to. Walking the hands over to the right side of the body, forehead to the top of the knee or to a block. Making sure that we're grounding down through this left side of the body, anchoring the hip. And then return back to center. Find a different pose. We've been here before, a different perspective. Allowing ourselves to notice any discomforts in the body and help them find comfort. Help us find the ways to respond. That is where our true power is. Maybe even letting the sides of the mouth curl up into a smile. And then we'll walk the hands to the left side of the knee. Hip hinge through the waist. A block, nose to knee, belly-thigh connection. Or use the tools to create that extra space to make our practice comfortable. And then allow yourself to start to walk all the way back up. Give a little check-in here, shoulders down and back. Nice breath in through the chest. Breath in through the belly, and an exhale out. We'll start to uncross the ankles and find our cat-cow, tabletop position on our mats. Shoulders above the wrist, hips above the knees. Inhale, drop the belly. Look up towards the sky. Exhale, curl the spine, look towards the belly button below. Push the earth away from the body. Inhale, drop the belly, look up to the sky. Blossom through the hips. Press the fingertips into the mat, starfish fingers like they're clasped to the rock of an ocean. Inhale, drop the belly. Look up to the heaven. And exhale, curl and round. One breath, one movement. We'll sink our hips back to our heels, finding a child's pose here, whether it's wide knee or narrow knee. Whichever option, choose wisely, feel what feels good. Draw the hips back into the heels. Maybe the belly's melting down on top of the thighs, or the hands are coming down to the sides of the body, forehead to the earth. If you're in a narrowed knee, that would be a little bit more comfortable to bring those hands to the sides of the body. And just check in to how the body is responding. And then start to gently and slowly come up to our tabletop. Grab the block if you have one. And I want you to take it long ways, the same as the mat. We'll bring it between the feet and the heels and sit back onto the block. Let's focus on bringing our kneecaps together here and sitting down in between the heels. And if it feels better without a block and it's okay on the knees, you can actually take the block out and that will be sufficient too. Hands behind, inhale, look up towards the sky, open the heart. Option to start bending the elbows down onto one elbow if that's there, maybe both. And if this posture is not serving you here, remember that you can always sit tall on the block and come down whenever it feels good. If you'd like a deeper stretch here, you could come all the way down, flat on the back, rolling the shoulder blades together. Start to lift up through the heart, drawing those knees together to the top edge of the mat, maybe grabbing onto one elbow or one hand onto the heart, one hand onto the belly. But knowing that if this posture is not serving our purpose and our body today, the right choice is to come into the posture that serves us best, letting go of ego, letting go of judgment, letting go of competition, using the breath to soften into any areas that need it, to relax and let go, to let the breath move into the hip flexors, down the quadriceps, even relaxing the tongue in the mouth. Relaxing the facial muscles, the eyes, and even the sockets behind the eyes. Being consciously aware of relaxing your feet. And knowing that when we can't control what's happening, we can challenge ourselves to control how we respond. That is where our true power lies. We'll start to release the arms if they were up above the head. Come back up onto the elbows first, palms. Safely bring yourselves up and walk the hands forward. Removing the block if it's there. Let's start to tuck our toes under here. Knees will come together. And then we'll start to bring the weight back, hips on top of our heels. Hands will come on top of the thighs. We'll roll the shoulders down away from the ears, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then just a little slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. And I know this is a very intense posture. We'll start to find thoughts come out that we want to move, to fidget, to move out of this posture. Let's see if we can soften into it today. And if we need to bring a block onto the back of the heels to help us sit in a different position of comfort, that's always a choice and an option. If we can close down the eyes, having faith that eventually this too shall pass, or having faith that when we can't control what's happening, we can challenge ourselves to control the way we respond, because that is where our true power lies. Responding in a Christ-like, loving way, speaking our truth with loving kindness, and letting love surround the world in a world full of hate that wants to pull us down and to even sometimes drown us. But can we fight back a good fight with love and light? Breathe into the belly. Exhale, let it go. And respond, choosing to stay and respond with love and light and kindness. We'll inhale here for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold your breath. You're doing a beautiful job. Exhale down nice and slow. 4, 3, 2, 1. You've arrived. Beautiful job. Leaning forward. We'll take the palms to the mat and tuck the toes and just give a nice little kick out with the feet. Beautiful job. So good. Move your body any way that it needs to move. Whether we sit back, we'll go ahead and bring the hips back down towards the ground and make our way back onto our back. We'll move into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing our soles of the feet together into a butterfly or reclined butterfly pose. Grab a block or two. We can choose to bring it underneath the heart space, wide, and then the second one may come onto the back of the head, opening through the heart, letting that heart open and melt down towards the earth. Option if you want to use one block here or a bolster. You might want the more intensity of the heart opener by allowing yourself to lengthen through the spine and then meeting your head on the earth on the other side. Now, if this is too intense of a pose, then find what works for you. If you need to find a little bit more support on the back of the head, find it. Taking in all of these slight changes. If you feel like you need that extra block, find the perfect posture for you. Let the heart beat in the chest. Focus on the breath coming in and out of the heart space. And just soften into it. Soften into the hips. Open the heart. Lengthen through the spine. Fingers are soft and resting. Body is surrendering and responding. Challenging yourself in how you respond. That is where your true power lies. Letting the breath help you respond in good ways. Visualizing this connection to your heavenly home through your pranic breath. Allow yourself to start to tuck the chin to the chest, remove the blocks, use the elbows to come out of the posture. And then find yourself moving down onto your back. And we'll gently move side to side again on the spine. Give a nice massage. Draw those knees in towards the chest. And then allow ourselves to move into a spinal twist. So let's take our right arm out, whether it's extended long or in a cactus shape. We'll tabletop our knees and let them fall gently to the left side of the body, moving into a gentle spinal twist, anchoring both shoulders to the ground, looking over the right shoulder, whether our arm is bent or extended. Feel into this space, this detoxification of the internal organs. And we'll start to bring the knees back to center, use our core, and then use the right hand to drape the knees to the right side of the body this time. Extend the arm long or cactus shape, wherever we need to be to keep both shoulders anchored and grounded while we look over that left shoulder this time. Soften through the breath. Allow the twist to happen through the internal organs, wringing everything out that no longer serves. Softening the facial muscles and feel the body respond, not react. Knees come back up. We'll rock and roll to move us into dragonfly posture, wide-seated straddle. Grabbing either blocks, pillows, bolsters, toes will flex up towards the sky. You can sit up on a blanket or a block to bring those hips forward, or bring that block out in front of you or blanket. We'll start to bring the hands behind us as we lift the heart first. If this is just enough for us, let's work in here with our breath, or the hands will start to creep out in front of us. Maybe the forearms will start to come on top of the block. Find the height that works for you, or you might start to even melt the belly down towards the earth. Work into the space that you need to feel the sensations. Go slow with the breath, close down the eyes, and work internally. This is a very intense posture, so if you ever get too deep into something and you know it's not serving you, be able to find the ability to come out safely. So props are really good for these practices, that they're nearby and that we can use them to push ourselves back up if we need to yo-yo in and out of these postures to keep ourselves safe. So let's start to send the breath into the hips, the area of tension. And on the exhale, soften and relax and let go even more. Flex the toes to the heaven above. Open through the heart. Lead with the crown of light. Trying to resist the urge to hop out of something that's discomfortable. Knowing that we can't control what's happening in some aspects of our life, can we challenge ourselves to control the way that we respond using these tools of breath, of intention, of mantra, of sound, intention or affirmation. Just listen. Listen to what is not said. Be able to see beyond your natural eyes. When we're truly in that space of love and light, and we're walking in a Christ-like way, our hearts are open, and there's only room for peace. There's only room for love. We'll start to walk the hands back into the body, take the blocks out however we need to, and then when it's safe, we'll take underneath the knees, bring ourselves back down, and let's actually hit a nice twisting posture with the shoulder and open that up. So come all the way down to your belly. And we'll take the left arm out first. This is your play, straight arm or a bent elbow. We'll go deep into the shoulder, the rotator cuff, and the pectoral muscles. So play here. We'll pick up the opposite knee and start to roll up and over on that toe, finding the earth on the other side, temple release towards the earth. So if we're not finding the intenseness of the sensation here, we can actually take the straight leg, join it in top of the knee here to feel the twist through the spine. And if we need to go a little bit further into the shoulder, we can untuck, take a nice little cactus, and come into it again. So breathe into this, just one more breath here. And then gently release, we'll swap sides. So gently find what feels good. Make your adjustments however you need to. You might get into it, and then you may need to come out and adjust again. So if you're feeling it or you need extra sensation, add those gentle twists or changing the direction of our shoulders so that we can feel the opening and the sensations exactly the way that we need to feel them in this present moment. No judgment, no competition, no expectations. And when you're ready, go ahead and come on out. Press back up all the way to a seating position. We'll extend through the legs. Take a nice gentle twist. The left foot is going to come on the outside of the right knee. Hug in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale as you twist. Option to look over that left shoulder if it feels right. With every breath, draw a little bit taller than before. With every exhale, find the body responding. Release and swap side. Other foot over. Find those sitting bones. Hug the knee into the chest. Option one. Or reach up and over. Give a nice little gentle twist and look over that right shoulder. Dorsiflex the toes towards the heart. Breathe into the space. And then exhale. Feel free to move into any free-form posture that you need to. Or if you're ready to fall down into Shavasana, then allow yourself to just open the body and the limbs across your mat. Let the feet flop open, melt it to the floor. Check in with your breath. Feel the body responding. Know that it's safe to let go. It's safe to surrender. It's safe to find acceptance here. It's safe to build intention on trust and but knowing that we're exactly where we need to be. That even when things are happening around us that we cannot control, can we shift our perspective and challenge ourselves to control the way that we respond. So find that neutral breath, not forcing anything here. Not judging or expecting, but just noticing any sensations that come up, inviting Christ to your space, and choosing to softly let the things go that we cannot control, allowing us to give them to Him, becoming more and more relaxed with every exhale, every breath we take, noticing the heart beating in our chest. Notice the sounds around you in the space, but not judging them or naming them or defining them, but just witnessing, being here, stepping in the passenger seat of your body, your vehicle, and letting Christ be your guide. Choosing to let them go and give them to Him, choosing to watch them wash in and wash out just like the waves from the ocean to the sand. Bringing yourself back to the breath. Maybe you start to wiggle your fingers or your toes, feel the beat of your heart. Maybe even Stretching out into a full body yawn, pencil stretch. And then maybe you're bending one knee into the chest and the other knee rolling onto one side of the body, cradling the head in the crevice of the elbow. Bring yourself up to a seated, comfortable position. Bringing our hands to our heart space here. And then let's take the hands all the way to the sky, reaching for our ability to hear. All the way down into the third eye to seek for truth. Seek for Christ's truth. And all the way into the mouth, may you speak words of kindness and compassion to others around you. When you cannot control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond, not just through our words, but through our actions, through our heart, with our love. Put those hands on your heart space, feeling the love that you deserve and the love that others deserve in this world. Thank you for breathing with me in this Christ-centered yoga practice and sharing this time with me, giving yourself this gift of health and presence. The light in you is the same light and love in me, and when we show up together in that same space, it is then that we are one in Christ. Namaste. Have a beautiful and blessed day.
If you enjoyed this practice, give it a thumbs up, subscribe below for more Christ-centered yoga videos your way. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you soon.